What do I do with all of these backgrounds? That's the most asked question I get. And today I have an answer. So grab that watercolor panel we made back on day 4 and let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Tiffany Solorio. If you are new here, welcome. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and join our creative community. For those following along, can you believe it? We've made it all the way to day 20 of 20 days of creative play. But don't worry, this isn't the end, and I'll share more about what's next later on in the video. Today, we're going to be finishing strong by layering rub-ons over a watercolor background we made on day 4. Or you can use whatever backgrounds you have in your stash. Now, rub-ons might look a little intimidating, but once you layer them over watercolor, they melt right in and look like they were always part of the background. Now stick with me because this is such a fun way to turn something half finished into something beautiful. This panel was made with watercolors back on day 4, and what I love is that it already has so much interest and texture, but sometimes it can feel a little tricky knowing how to take something like this and actually finish it. The first thing I need to do is figure out which rub-on I want to use. This set comes as a 12x12 sheet from 49 Market, and for today's project, I'm drawn to this grungy black and white floral image. So I'm going to be cutting it out, and that's going to be my main element for this card. But as I look at my watercolor background, I feel like it needs just a little bit more interest before I layer anything more on top. So I'm pulling out one of my favorite stamps. It's a script stamp from Creative Worship. It's Psalm 23. Not only is this one of my favorite verses, but I love the texture the script adds to the background. I would love to know what your favorite Bible verse is, so leave a comment down below. Now, instead of stamping it perfectly, I'm using white pigment ink and curving the stamp in my hand. I'm going to be rolling it across the background, letting the impression be imperfect and kind of patchy. That randomness adds variety and helps the background feel a little bit more organic. Exactly what I want before I add the rub-on. Now, since I'm working with pigment ink, it does take a little longer to dry, and I'll be honest, I'm very impatient, so I'm grabbing my heat tool to speed things up before I move on to the next step. And you're not going to want to miss how everything ties together once we add that floral rub-on. Now, if you're new to rub-ons, let me walk you through how they work. Each one comes with a backing sheet that you'll need to peel off. The rub-on itself has a slightly sticky feel, and you'll need to place it where you want it on your background. Now, here's the good news. They're a little bit forgiving, especially with the 49 Market rub-ons. You can lay them down lightly and they won't instantly stick like double-sided tape. That gives you a little bit of playtime to move it around and get the placement just right. But once you press it down, it starts to adhere, so be sure you're happy before committing. Now let's talk about how to actually transfer them. For small details, I'll be honest, I just use my finger now. It works great. For larger images, I reach for my favorite tool, the 4-in-1 tool from scrapbook.com. I use this thing constantly for many different things. It has a little scraper edge that's perfect for rub-ons. Another option is a classic bone folder, which works really well when you're covering a bigger area, like the floral image I'm using today. But here's where things got interesting. As I started to lift the sheet, some parts weren't transferring the way they normally do. Now, this has never happened to me before. Part of my watercolor background actually started lifting up with the rub-on. It was so strange. But instead of panicking, I decided to set that piece aside to see if I can use it on another project. And don't go anywhere, because even though the rub-on is on the background, we're not finished. I'm going to keep building on it and actually turn it into a finished card. You're not going to want to miss how it all comes together. The next step is splatters, and you all know I couldn't skip this one, so where's my splatter squad at? Today I'm using one of my new favorites, Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. This stuff is amazing, and I'll have it linked below for you. I like to thin it out with just a little bit of water so it's a little bit more fluid. Then take a paintbrush and just flick it across the card for that beautiful random texture. Once my splatters are down, I'll speed up the drying process with my heat tool. Then I'm going to use an edge distresser to rough up the sides just a bit. That tiny detail adds so much interest to the card. I did also trim the panel down to 4 by 5.5 before I distress the edges. This gives a nice clean border when I mount it onto a card base. Now, to finish off the card, I'm adhering the panel to an embossed background with double-sided adhesive. For the sentiment, I chose "The Kingdom of Heaven is Near." I think this one came from Open Journey Ephemera pack, but honestly, use whatever you have on hand. It's all about making it your own. Now, remember at the beginning of the video, I said this isn't the end? That's because our creative journey keeps going. We've made all of these backgrounds over the past 20 days, but the next step is actually using them and turning them into cards. That's exactly what my background Backgrounds Reimagined class is all about. Even though it's an older class, it's packed with ideas and techniques for transforming your stash of backgrounds into finished cards without overthinking it. And right now, you can grab it for 40% off. You do have lifetime access, so you can revisit it at any time. I'll leave a link down in the description box if you'd like to keep creating together beyond this series. Now, before we wrap up, if you followed along for all 20 days of creative play, I would love for you to leave a comment letting me know. It means so much to hear about your journey, and of course, if you share your projects on social media, please be sure to tag me so I can see it. I want to thank you all for stopping by today, and as always, don't forget to stay creative, my friends, and I'll catch you all later.